Welcome to the channel, guys. We are back again for another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 fragrances from my collection that are so good I'm going to use the whole bottle, so stay tuned for that. If you like top 10 lists, fragrance reviews, clone comparisons, and fragrance battles, hit that subscribe button for more great content. So I actually have a decent number of fragrances in my collection. It's by no means large by FragCom standards, but I do certainly have, I have a good selection. I'm definitely going to be focusing on trimming that down a little bit, really sticking with the ones that I really love. We'll continue to sample new fragrances, and then probably I will add things a little bit slower as we go along. But these are 10 fragrances that I definitely want to use the whole bottle of. Really enjoy these ones. So you know what? Let's just get right into it. First, by the way, they are definitely in order. I decided to think about this a little bit and I put these ones in, I guess, the order that I sort of treasure them or value them in my collection. Now, the first one is a great one for spring, summer, and that is Encre Noir Sport. I have worn this one a little bit, not too much. But this is actually a really great entry-level vetiver fragrance that I think holds up really well against a lot of high-end vetiver fragrances. Vetiver Dominant, I've talked about this one a lot in my collection, on my channel. And this is one that does get a lot of love, although, I think for people that aren't used to Vetiver Dominant fragrances, it can set some people off. I think Sport is the most likable from the line. Very nice, has a little bit of citrus in the opening. It has a little bit of an aquatic note. It has a very nice, it still has that dark sort of inky vibe that Encre Noir has. It's not overly soily like A l'Extreme, so I do find it a little bit more wearable. It's a little bit of a nice dry vetiver vibe, and does sometimes get that sort of marshy feeling that I get from vetiver that makes me feel like I'm walking through a marsh or something like that I really enjoy. Also does get a little soapy in the dry down, which makes it really nice for spring and summer, makes it a very wearable vetiver fragrance. And so if you're looking for something a little bit different, a little bit darker, a little bit more brooding or something, this is a good one. Price value proposition of this one is top notch. So definitely want to use this whole bottle. I think this 100 ml was like 30 bucks, so very good value. Now, next on the list, Side Effect by Initio. I haven't worn this one enough. I bought this one. I wanted to get it in my collection for so long, but I just haven't worn it enough. It is very potent, strong, as with a lot of Initio fragrances, but it's a beautiful cinnamon, boozy, sweet fragrance that just is absolutely amazing. The booziness to me comes across almost like an aquatic vibe that this one has. It feels watery. It feels just very liquidy. Not like aquatic in the fresh sense, but it does feel like it's very liquidy. Opens up with what I like to refer to as an orange crush vibe. Beautiful cinnamon. If you like cinnamon, boozy, sweet fragrances, this is nice. It does have tobacco in it, but to me that's more of in the background. This is a much more sweet, vanilla, boozy type of fragrance. But very good one. One of the best from Initio, along with Rehab from me personally. I know there's a lot of other Initios I haven't tried, but it is a nice, definitely a nice one. Next one I've had a very long time and made a significant dent in. Bleu de Chanel. This is the Parfum. This is one that I'll wear for a while, then I kind of get tired of it, then I come back to it again, I love it again. It's just such an easy to wear, likable fragrance, and even now, just when I haven't worn this one for a while and I come back to it, it does have a certain wow effect still, which I like. This is one of the first fragrances that I really fell in love with. One of the first fragrances, on my journey, as people like to call it, that really got me into the game, and really enjoy this one. Nice, wearable, a little bit more depth than the EDT and the EDP. Not a huge performer, does have good longevity. Projection is not that great, so to be honest with you, I sometimes do bring a decant just to get a little bit more projection of it as the day goes by, but that's me personally. Next one, also put a fair bit of a dent in it. This one I love, and I just want to wear it more casually because it doesn't have to be a date fragrance, even though it's great for that. Dolce & Gabbana, the One EDP. For me, the EDP is the go-to. A lot of people prefer the EDT, and that's fine. But to me, this has a little bit more depth, a little bit more character, and the performance is better. I get about 6 hours, which is not dreadful. For something that's so lovely, it just has this slightly creamy, slightly sweet, opens up with a little bit of citrus, beautiful amber tobacco vibe. Really, really well done. A timeless DNA in my opinion. One of those things that I think 10 years from now you could wear this one and it's still going to be good. It's not going to smell dated. You know, that's just my opinion. Really, really good one. If you haven't for some reason tried this one, I would recommend trying it out. This is one of those first fragrances that really blew me away. Really was like, wow, I didn't know things could smell this awesome. So I do like this one. Now, next one. Also put a little bit of dent in this one. I almost didn't include it because I did decant a little bit this one, but I won't be decanting anymore. That's Fan Your Flames by Nishane. This was a blind buy. It was a very good blind buy. This is a tobacco sweet fragrance, tobacco booze fragrance, but to me the tobacco is the most dominant note in this. It does have coconut, has a little bit of that sweetness. It does have a nice booziness, but the booziness is not that strong. And there's something in this, I don't know if it's Amber Extreme that they use or something like that, but it gives it this like, almost like burning embers kind of vibe, which makes it feel like, you know, there's tobacco that's lit. It's not smoky, but it feels like, it just paints that image of like lit tobacco, if that makes any sense. To me, Beast Mode Performer, a couple sprays in this one, you know, projection, 3-4 feet for several hours, lasts 8 hours. Very, very good performer. Love this one a lot. Next one is a new acquisition, and one that I'm just crazy about right now. And that's Chanel Allure Homme Sport Cologne. This one is just so great if you like citrus, if you like orange, if you like lemon, if you like neroli. You should try this one out, because to me those are the three main players in this fragrance. It has this really nice orange lemon vibe with a little bit of neroli in the background. Very fresh, very uplifting. You know, the orange does start to taper back and the lemon definitely takes over. Sometimes I do think a little bit of like lemonade, but it doesn't really give me a lemonade vibe. And one thing that's really nice is it stays away from smelling, to me anyways, like a cleaning product, which a lot of lemon fragrances fall into that problem area, but this one doesn't do that at all. Really, really nice, very fresh, very easy to wear, very likable. Performance is actually not that bad. Again, 6 hours with this one, and you know, for such a fresh, uplifting fragrance, I think that's a good mark to go for. I like 8 hours as a mark, but freshies just don't last as long, and this one I think does perform pretty well for a fresh fragrance. So a really great one. Definitely my favorite in the line. The next one would be Allure Homme Sport, but this is my absolute favorite from the line. Now, next one. We're at number 4. Similar fragrance, but not really. It has orange in it, and that's Terre Hermes Eau Très Fresh. This one, you know, this is for the longest time, as I've said in other videos, this was my go-to for like airplanes. Hopefully we'll be getting on those soon enough. And this has been sort of my go-to because it's very easy to like. It's a little bit easier to wear than Terre Hermes. Still has that nice woody base, but it's not as Vetiver Dominant. Doesn't have the spicy characteristics, but has this really nice, opens up with a very beautiful, fresh, juicy orange. It does turn a little bit into that sort of zesty, bitter orange, that dirty orange vibe that it has. Has some aquatic notes, but it's just overall does have this fresh, uplifting kind of vibe. And so this is something I'd go a couple sprays before going on an airplane just to keep a little bit fresh and not be overpowering. I mean, when you're on an airplane, man, I don't know if you personally want to go crazy with the sprays. I don't think so for me, because it is an enclosed space that sometimes you're trapped in for like 8 hours. It's not the kind of thing you really want to do. So this is one that I find easy to wear. This or Elysium is another one I would sometimes go with. Just likable, enjoyable, fresh, very, very good. And to me, anyways, these are the two best designer summer fragrances for sure. For my personal taste, these are the two best. Now, top 3. These are 3 that I love. They're thick, they're fall, winter fragrances, so don't always get to wear them as much as I would like to. I mean, you can kind of wear them year round, especially if you're going to be indoors. You can pull off any of these in a climate-controlled environment. First one, Rosé All Day. I've worn this one, you know, maybe a dozen times since picking it up, and I do like this one. This is the best apple pie fragrance. So you think of like Wajon, Ambre Narguile, Angel Share, which I did almost put on this list, by the way. Very good fragrance as well. Rosé All Day to me is the best. It does come across thick, syrupy, luxurious, even a little bit kind of boozy in the opening. Has this really nice plum note that goes with it. Has this beautiful apple crisp vibe. Very thick, sensual, luxurious fragrance. Love Rosé all day. Do check it out if you like those apple pie DNAs. If you like gourmand fragrances, I think it's an absolute win. So, top 2. Recent acquisition from Kilian, single malt. I've worn this one a decent amount of times, considering I've only had this one maybe for a couple months. And it was right at the end of sort of winter that I did pick this one up. And I love this one. Reminds me of like a beautiful rye whiskey. I know it is going for a Scotch whiskey, but it does remind me a bit more of rye whiskey. It has this beautiful plum note. And it has a little bit of a sort of smoky woodsiness too that does add to that feeling of a cask. So all in all, this is a really good one. Does perform nice. It's not overpowering. So it's one of the things I do like about this one. It's not one that really dominates a room, but it has a nice bubble, a nice sillage. People are going to smell this one on you. It's very inviting, even though it's quite a bit different, quite a bit boozy. It's a boozy fragrance. I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of that. But this is one that I do find nice, sweet. It does remind me a little bit in some ways of apple brandy, but it is its own thing. But it has a very inviting vibe to it. A little bit sensual. A little bit of that woody smokiness that really, really adds to the whole experience. And this is a really, really good one. I mean, this one is awesome for nights out, personally. I mean, I think a lot of Kilians, that's what they do best. But this is one that I could see wearing, for me anyways, just when I'm out in the day when it's cooler out. Very nice fragrance as well. Top of the list, this one I have not decanted any of. And I will not be decanting any of it, so even if it takes me about 10 years to finish this bottle, I certainly will. And that is Italica by Xerjoff. So I have worn this one a few times. It is one that I know a lot of people kind of feel a little bit like it needs to be a special occasion to wear. And I get that because it is, it is a very high quality, luxurious fragrance. And it's very thick. It's very sensual, so it does feel a lot more situational. But I'm also in the vibe of wearing what I like and also wearing the fragrances that I have. So I do, of course, would agree with a lot of people this one is easier to wear for more formal occasions or for, nice evenings out, those kinds of things. It goes really, really well with those scenarios. But I think, I can wear this one as well personally. If I'm just going about my day, if it's a little bit cooler out, it definitely has, or it definitely still works. Really appealing fragrance, very thick, sensual, everything a gourmand should be, in my opinion, which it does have that sensual sweetness. Beautiful, milky, almondy feel that this one has. Opens up with a nice almond biscuit and turns into this really, really creamy, sensual almond vibe. Love this one a lot. Happy to have it in my collection. I do have the older bottle, although the newer bottle is nice. This is actually the 2nd gen bottle. So the older one older than that, has a different logo right here. That is the big difference. You know what? I do like the velvet, but I also have come to like the newer one. I've seen a lot of pictures of it. I do prefer the box for this one, though. This one has a beautiful sort of, it almost feels like leather encasings that you open up when you open the box up. So very luxurious experience all around, and it is a very luxurious fragrance. So works really well. Anyways, guys, that is my top 10 fragrances that I'm going to wear the entire bottle of. Leave a comment down below. What are some of the fragrances in your collection that you're definitely going to wear the entire bottle of? Let me know. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.